There's a great story that comes out of early Christian desert spirituality of the 4th and 5th centuries. A young monk goes to his elder and says, "How can I come closer to God?" The old man looks at him and says, "You want to come closer to God? All right, I want you to go to the cemetery and insult the dead." Okay, so he goes to the cemetery and starts yelling at headstones. And when he comes back, the old man says, "Did you go to the cemetery?" "Yes." "Did you insult the dead?" "Yes." "Did they respond to you?" "Well, no." "All right, now I want you to go back to the cemetery and praise the dead." So dutifully he goes back and praises the dead, comes back. The old man says, "Did you go to the cemetery?" "Yes." "Did you praise the dead?" "Yes." "Did they respond to you?" "No." When you can respond to the insults and the praises of others the way the dead do, then you'll be closer to God. It's so interesting that the highest virtues of the early church were unoffendability and unflatterability, that we could grow into an interior space where our sense of contentment, meaning, purpose, identity were not dependent on exterior circumstances or opinions, but came from a deeper place within. Sadly, we've lost even a sense of value for these virtues today. In the age of the selfie, and did you know over 93 million selfies are uploaded to social media every single day? It's all about exterior circumstances, all about the opinions of others. Now, if you've ever been around small children, you know that they don't have the ability to think of themselves as separate from everything and everyone around them. Our brains develop that level of self-awareness. Think about how our conscious mind, our egoic mind, actually works. That voice that talks to us in our head constantly, in words, evaluating, assessing, planning, thinking about past and future, all essential tools for survival, but keeping us out of the present moment, the only moment that actually exists, and keeping us focused on external circumstances and feedback. But more importantly, we tend to think that that voice in our minds, our mind itself, is who we actually are, our identity. And so to consider even a moment without that level of activity and noise is terrifying, because who are we then? Now, we've been talking about awareness, that awareness is the key to our sense of contentment and stress-free presence that we all say we want, even as we cling to our egoic minds. But if we're going to create enough awareness to be able to see our minds for what they are, an essential tool, and actually the interface between us and all the life around us, we're going to need to create some contrast. Just as if you have something that's dark in color, you put it on a light background, or if it's light, you put it on a dark background, we're going to need to create some contrast for our noisy minds. Now that contrast is the 4S's: silence, solitude, stillness, and simplicity, prized in every responsible philosophic and religious tradition mankind has produced, but not so much in our own. If we're going to see how our minds and emotions work, how they drive our focus, we're going to need to step away to be able to create some perspective. And we do that with silence, understood not just as the absence of sound, but awareness of deeper presence, solitude, not just being alone, but aware of being part of something larger than ourselves. Stillness, connection to a deeper identity beneath the storm of the surface mind and external noise. And simplicity, letting go of the need for specific circumstances, feedback, or even possessions to give us a sense of meaning and purpose in our lives. Of course, the goal is balance. The noise in our minds and our world is overwhelming, sucks all the oxygen out of the room, and keeps us distracted, unaware, and stressed. Practicing the 4S's restores balance to thinking and experience that we all need, and eventually embeds silence and solitude so deeply in us that we carry it with us wherever we go, even out into our noisy world. So many of us are feeling lost, meaningless, stressed, depressed, anxious, and very few of us know who we really are. Silence can bring new meaning to our words. Solitude new passion to our relationships. Stillness, new energy to activity. And simplicity, new unoffendability and unflatterability to our perspective on life. Now, you may think that introverts are going to have an easier time of this than extroverts, but the truth is, it's going to be equally difficult for each one of us to deal with our hyperactive minds. And it's going to take practice. Now, we're going to talk about that practice in upcoming videos, but if you're ready to dig in right now, you can call, text, message, comment. The details are attached to this video. Let's find out what's possible with awareness and the 4S's in hand.